สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning. How are you today? It's amazing. I'm really happy to see every one of you here. And of course, welcome to our second day of the Ultra-Broadband Forum 2022. And my name is Tasma Damdang. Just call me ma'am. Still be here with every one of you for one more day. So, ladies and gentlemen, our theme today is called Advanced Connectivity Boost Growth. And it's our greatest honor to have all the prominent speakers from around the world that's here. They are the leading careers who would like to share their experience and best practices on their business success. So are you ready? Okay, so please join me in welcoming Mr. Simon Lin, Senior Vice President of Huawei and President of Huawei Asia Pacific Region, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for attending UBBF. I'm Simon Lin, President of Huawei Asia Pacific. Today, I'd like to elaborate how to unlock the value of connectivity in home enterprise with a green approach. Looking back at the past years, we've seen many changes. As people do more things online and the 4K AR applications become more popular, more homes will need to upgrade to gigabit. The pandemic has further transformed our home into a multi-purpose center, which needs gigabit to every room. Gigabit may also be combined with new services to enrich our experience. Facing this new normal, I'd like to unpack 3 ways to monetize home connection. First, gigabit to home. Currently, over 1 billion homes don't have access to high-speed connectivity. The cost for fiber delivery is high. The rate of a gigabit subscriber is less than 5%. Most homes need to upgrade to fiber. Typically, there are 3 stages for fiber deployment: starting, ramp up, and accelerating. If we want to build a positive business circle, we need to shorten the first 2 stages and speed up large-scale deployment. As we can see, some countries have already achieved this. For example, in France and the Philippines, annual FTTH deployment nearly doubled within 4 to 5 years. Large-scale deployment also reduced cost per line. In our experience, costs are reduced by half once you reach 1 million lines per year. In South Africa, the cost per line was reduced even further from 1,000 to $200. After large-scale deployment, carriers can launch more services. This often helps them increase ARPU and build premium brand. Driven by this, over 20 countries have released 10 gigabit package, and in 8 countries, gigabit subscribers are over 10%. Second, gigabit to room. Now, we often say gigabit to home, but megabit to room. However, it's hard to ensure a smooth user experience over PLC modem or Wi-Fi. As a result, about 80% of complaints are coming from poor room experience. To form a single home network with similar coverage, there need gigabit to every room. Our FTTR solution converts one line into 10 and grow ARPU by 3 times. In China, there are already millions of FTTR users, and more than 20 countries worldwide are ready to deploy this solution. Furthermore, maintenance is critical for carrier. Our FTTR solution enables unified maintenance, which can provide remote home network configurations. This reduces the number of door-to-door visits and can decrease the cost by over 50%. It brings the best experience for users and greater value for carriers. Third, carriers can build up more services on gigabit home network, which will help them tap into the smart home market in several ways. To begin with, carrier will be able to develop more scenario-based experience. For live streaming, uplink and downlink rate need to be the same. For remote work, latency is key. Well, for online learning, network stability and high bandwidth are more important. China Unicom has released a specialized broadband service for live streaming. Now it's very popular among young people and has helped China Unicom double its ARPU. Next, bundled with internet service. For example, StarHub has launched TV Plus packages that are bundled with Netflix, integrating broadband service with video streaming. Moreover, gigabit can reach smart home devices, which has supported China Telecom to attract over 10 million users. After sharing many cases, let's watch a video illustration. In a nutshell, in home setting, we can unlock the value of connectivity through gigabit to home, gigabit to room, and gigabit plus services. In the second part, I will talk about how to monetize connectivity in enterprise setting. Digitalization in different industries creates different requirements. This generates the need for connectivity upgrade in bandwidth, latency, availability, and security. For example, autonomous driving training produced 180 petagigabit data each time, requiring a link of at least 10 Gbps. In finance sector, which at least 300 transactions made per millisecond, latency is also key. Furthermore, enterprise migration to the cloud has been a trend, which requires an up-to-date architecture. To seize the opportunity, there are mainly three ways. First, upgrade lead line bandwidth from 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps. Second, provide scenario-based lead line. Third, upgrade lead line to private network to support multi-cloud access. For bandwidth upgrade, we should dive deep into the high-value market of enterprise lead line. For example, we are increasingly relying on video conferencing and remote work. Campus need better connectivity. That means lead line need bandwidth upgrade. Furthermore, by combining technology such as 5G and Wi-Fi, carriers can provide stronger campus coverage. On top of this, lead lines are also used in data center, where 10 Gbps connectivity is needed between enterprise branch and the data center. Second, as enterprise go digital, more diverse services will emerge, which drive carrier to provide scenario-based lead line. Next, I'd like to bring in 4 examples which represent different industry needs. Media, for example, is a bandwidth-hungry industry. Major sport events need at least 100 Gbps active backhaul. When summer comes, a media company in the UAE pursued better HD and 4K video services. They turned to Do. The latter helped them upgrade lead line to 100 Gbps, allowing them to charge 3 times more. Low latency is also important. For example, China Telecom launched several millisecond-based latency service in Shanghai, such as 1 millisecond intercity and 5 millisecond intercity. This helped the carrier earn 7 times more revenue. Availability is another key factor. The banks are willing to pay for premium. Indosat a carrier in Indonesia, provides a highly reliable private financial network for BRI, one of the largest local banks. The carrier managed to increase availability from 3 nines to 5 nines, while charging 50% more. Finally, security is the lifeline of many industries. For instance, China Telecom offers security as a service. This cloud security service to upgrade their virus library and ensure the security of this line. This cloud-based offering has brought new gains for the carriers. The third way to monetize connectivity in enterprise is private network upgrade. This is even more important when growing enterprise require fast and stable access to multiple cloud. To provide fast access to cloud, Huawei support plug and play and remote configuration functions. Using this method, Telecom Malaysia has shortened its service launch time from months to days. Multi-cloud access is another key requirement. In the past, when this line is deployed for one cloud, this was very costly. Now, carriers are able to build one single backbone cloud network with multiple cloud access, as what China Mobile International has accomplished. For both fast cloud access and multi-cloud access, deterministic connectivity is a must. Using network slicing technology, we provide multiple logical private network from a single logical physical network. As we can say, China Telecom is doing so to support healthcare and government industries. For enterprise, digital transformation is a customer-centric reimagination of the future. Here, I'd like to show a video. In brief, in internet setting, there are 3 ways to unlock the value of connectivity. Bandwidth upgrade is the first opportunity in the high-value market of this line. Differentiation upgrade generate greater value for industries, and the private network upgrade provide consistent cloud network experience. As I have stressed before, how to promote sustainable digitalization is something we all need to address. So, in the last part, I'd like to present our green solution. At this moment, Huawei is establishing a green indicator system and a green network. We are working closely with carriers to support ITU standard setting. Our proposal includes 3-layer solution covering green site, green network, and green operations. In addition, all optical simplified intelligence are important for green network, which deliver a 10 times increase of network energy efficiency. Both solutions will help carrier reach more bits, less watt, and enable greener industry. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been said that a sculpture is already complete within the marble block, but only the great artist can set it free. As the artist, carriers are best positioned to innovate connectivity. Building on our partnership, Huawei will continue to unlock the value of connectivity for a fully connected and intelligent world. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing new ideas sparkle during UBBF. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Simon Lin once again, our Senior Vice President of Huawei and President of Huawei Asia Pacific region. Ladies and gentlemen, the next topic is the 4 foundations of digital growth for service providers to 2030. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Richard Mahoney, Vice President, Market Lead of Informatech. Please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Marney, and I run the service provider business for Informatech and Omdia. And first thing I want to say is what a fantastic event I've had at UBBF. It's been, for me, a very enlightening few days, and I've particularly enjoyed the discussions that we had at the WBBA, and also really had some good conversations with AIS and China Mobile, and I thought the presentations that both of them did was absolutely fantastic. So I hope that I can meet those excellent standards. But what I want to share with you today is my view of the future of the network and examine the consequences of that future for the industry. And we've done that based on the research that we've done in Omdia and also by engaging with the industry and our service provider clients. And at the end of the presentation, I'll end with some observations about the features and the functions that we would expect to see in the network in 2030. But before I get into network evolution, I thought I'd start with a story about customer relevance. This man here, Stephen Sassoon, is a giant killer because back in 1974, he invented the digital camera, which led essentially to the demise of Kodak. And as you can see from the share price graph, as customers bought more digital cameras, they bought less film. And Kodak didn't really respond to this until 2017 when they launched what was a very bad and expensive smartphone. But I guess the point of this story, and the reason I'm sharing it with you, is the great irony is that Stephen, the inventor of the digital camera, works for Kodak. In fact, he still works for Kodak. So even though Kodak had the technology in their business, they could see the future of the technology, they were unable to change the course of their business and change their industry in which they were operating. So the question for us is, are we relevant to the customer today? Sorry. The evidence looks fairly mixed. In search of revenue growth and cost savings, the wireless industry has gone from one generation of network to the next. And I think the chart to the right in Western Europe is quite telling in the fact that while subscriptions have been growing in Western Europe, revenues have seen a slowing of growth every single quarter. Now, fixed is actually a rather more healthy relationship with a linear relationship between subscriptions and revenue growth. But even in the most mature and highly penetrated fiber markets, we are starting to see a slowing of growth. So these are, I think, poor returns for an industry that has spent $3.6 trillion on their networks. Imagine spending $3.6 trillion, which is about the size of the German economy for on average, over the last 10 years, 1% to 2% revenue growth. And while this network investment has clearly, undoubtedly given rapid growth to other industries, for service providers, it's given more modest growth. So we think there has to be another way. There has to be some new technologies that are cheaper to run, with features and functions that allow us to grow revenue beyond connectivity. And so we see a new era of growth, and we call that era of growth the era of the intelligent network. And I'm going to talk you through the foundations of that now. The first foundation is that the pace of connectivity growth is going to accelerate. Over the next 5 years, we're going to grow 2.2 billion cellular connections on networks worldwide. Now, just to put that into context, the last billion took 4 years. In fiber, we're going to add another 243 million connections, and most of that is going to be fiber. So I meant in fixed, but fiber is the dominant technology there. And there are two drivers behind that growth. The first is we're getting much better at connecting the unconnected. But the second is that the number of devices in our households and in our industry is going to double in only 5 years. So these really are phenomenal KPIs. And what it says to us is that actually the demand fundamentals of our industry are sound. Because the need to be connected is only accelerating. Now, the second foundation of growth is not just going to be more connected, but it's the fact that our usage is going to continue to grow quite significantly. So the combined cellular and fixed traffic is going to reach 5.6 million petabytes by 2024. And as a result, we're expecting that the video will dominate the network by 80%. So that's about enough for every single person on the planet to upload 7,000 photos a day. That's a phenomenal amount of data that obviously service providers, we all have to manage. However, at the same time, what we're seeing is that the cost of transportation is falling. And that means that we expect to see prices falling. So in cellular, we're expecting in 2022, 37 cents per gigabyte falling to 25 cents. And in fixed, we're looking at 19 cents going down to 7 cents. So the implication of this is that if we want to grow faster than what we've been doing before, 1 to 2%, if we want more than that, we're going to have more products, because we can't just rely on connectivity to get really rapid growth beyond what we've seen historically. So the third foundation is the home is going to be quite a different place by 2026. And this is very much what Stephen outlined in the presentation previously. And what do we expect there? Well, we expect massive growth in video. It is going to be the product that's dominating networks. And we're expecting growth up there from 2.1 to 6.48 million petabytes in 2026. But we also expect to see rapid growth in gaming. And that is a service that can use up to 20 gigabytes an hour. So we expect that these two alone in combination is going to drive bandwidth demand to be 10 times what it is today. But by 2026, we also expect to see the very beginnings of the metaverse, in spite of Facebook's share price news that you may have seen over the last 24 hours. But we're not thinking here about avatars and virtual beaches. What we see is more homes, more devices in the homes that provide a mixed and an augmented reality. So we're absolutely talking about glasses and heads-up display here. But the point I really want to press home with you is that this future is just around the corner. By 2026, we think there will be more virtual reality headsets globally than there are in homes today than Xboxes. And that is obviously quite a significant shift. To give you context, there are 55 million Xboxes globally. So you can see VR becoming the dominant device above the games consoles by beyond 2030. And whilst it's very difficult to forecast when the vendors are going to launch services around glasses, we think that there will be something like 17 million glasses by 2026. So in this scenario, the network is going to have to be delivering 10 times the bandwidth, low millisecond in terms of latency, and you're going to need things like individual session control management and advanced routing through IPv6. One of the mistakes I think we make in enterprise, in the enterprise market, is to showcase an industry. We often take a very niche case study and try and generalize it. I'm often perplexed why mining is always used to showcase the power of 5G, when they have very specific requirements, and most of them aren't relevant to the majority of industries. But I also think that through the intelligent network, there is a new opportunity that's emerging, and it's not a vertical one. It is about the digital economy, and is therefore what we would call a horizontal opportunity. And it does require us to think a little bit differently about what the enterprise network does and our role in the industry itself. So many of the changes that we expect in the home, we also expect to see in the enterprise. So you will see the same growth in bandwidth intensity and low latency networking, along with the application of XR and computer vision. But the enterprise will be different in two key ways. The first is we'll see this merging between the WAN and the LAN. As enterprises deploy low latency applications, what we'll see is core network functions decentralized and executed locally on the campus. So I'm thinking here of 5G core delivered on campus for a private network. I'm also thinking about how we're seeing compute workloads moving from the cloud onto the edge for particularly low latency applications. So as a result, we expect to see a blending of the demarcation that we see today between the WAN and the LAN. However, there is a more fundamental change that we expect in the enterprise. And that is at the top line that enterprises in future will be able to deliver any product at any time to the customer's specifications before the customer even knows that they need it. So you think about ordering a car today, you can customize it in 1,000 ways. And when it arrives, when you're driving too fast, it will say, please slow down. And if you don't slow down and you crash, it will then call the emergency services for you. And so through the application of massive IoT and networks AI, we expect to see mass customization of products in the digital value chain. And we also expect to see far more emphasis on automation in fulfillment to improve the customer experience. Let me give you another example. One day, you will wake up in the morning, the day before you run out of toothpaste, and you'll find a new tube, and it's made exactly to your specifications. And you've got a message on your mobile to say, you're at risk of tooth decay. And so what's happening is a fundamental shift to the intelligent network being part of the digital value chain, because it is a means of production. In other words, for many product categories, you won't be able to produce a product without the intelligent and the secure network. And that's because the network is delivering new customer authentication, location, and endpoint usage and monitoring data sets that aren't just driving the network data, but driving the enterprise data. And I thought that the gentleman from AIS yesterday set this out very well in what he termed as the cognitive network. But the network is also delivering new edge factories, and these are third-party applications that are being provisioned and built and sometimes managed locally by the telco. And there are a number of really interesting models that we're beginning to see how telcos are working with application providers to deliver their products from the cloud. I'm very happy to talk to anyone after the session about some of the early case studies in that regard. So what will the network look like in the intelligent network era? Well, I think almost undoubtedly we're going to see the bandwidth intensity grow. The 10x is well within our core scenario for the future, and that means you're going to have things like 50G PON, 800G backbone, obviously Wi-Fi 7 will all play through, and the massive IoT that's sort of fueling the sort of continuation of bandwidth and connectivity growth in the developed markets. But the network is going to be more responsive. It is going to need millisecond latency. We can talk about what range, but with a number of these new services that are coming down the line, it's not going to be a race of bandwidth. It's going to be a race of refinement and latency in the network. And that means that you're going to have to deterministic network with individual end-to-end session control and digitized CDN and end-to-end SRv6 and IPv6. I think that's quite clear. And why is that happening? It's because of these more and smaller screens that will proliferate across the house and in the enterprise as we emerge to deliver a more augmented reality at the crosshairs of data, real-time data, and virtual visualization. The network will be greener, less heavy. The migration away from PSTN and other networks will make it greener, but also cheaper to run. And there are key technologies such as EXC and moving to optical, offering huge savings, 45% there. And obviously, copper is more inefficient than fiber, where you can find energy gains of up to 85%. But we're all expecting this multi-domain networks AI, where we get the personalization and automation of services, and finally, a more local reality. And this is, for me, in terms of the strategy sessions we're running with telcos today, much more about how do we deliver local compute, local managed services, and becoming just very good at local delivery. So just to bring it back full round, the lesson from the Kodak moment isn't just about the benefits of tech innovation. And by the way, Kodak was a phenomenally innovative company. I mean, they had people inventing the digital camera, one of the most significant inventions on the planet. We've all got one in our pockets now. But it's about a failure of a company to change its industry and change its portfolio in terms of where the customers were going. And for me, I think that the key technology transitions are fairly obvious. We're moving from streaming bandwidth to 10x and millisecond latency. We're moving from a quality of service to deterministic individual session control. And we're moving from many verticals down to automated and personalized delivery. So we can see the technology change before us. And the reason I know that Stephen is still working for Kodak is I had a conversation with them about our industry and the fact that I was coming to speak to you all. And he said, good luck with the presentation, but change is hard for large and successful organizations. I hope they get that at UBBF. And that's the point. When we're trying to make a significant change, when we are growing, that is a difficult discussion to have. So my question really for you is, what's it to be? Are you going to be in the business of changing the technology that you can see listed here? But are you also going to use the intelligent network to extend the role of your telco in the digital economy, and therefore extend the range of the opportunities before you to exceed the 1% to 2% that we've seen over the last decade? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Richard Mahoney, the Vice President, Market Lead of Informatech. Ladies and gentlemen, the next topic is Building Optimal Experience Intelligent Networks, Driving New Growth. Please welcome Mr. Zhang Linhua, the Deputy CTO of True. A big round of applause, please.
Sawadee krap. Indi Dong Nap Tutan. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Zhang Linhua from the True Corporation. So today, we live in the digital era. So everyone knows we have a digital economy. As this slide said, Thailand's incomes surged to 81% today, and the total value of the economy will reach to US dollars $53 billion in 2025. So it is a big number, right? Let me give you some examples, okay? When you're living in Thailand, when you go shopping, when you pay the bill in the restaurant, or you buy the tickets, and you only pay by the QR code, you just open the bank application in your mobile phone, then scan the QR code given by the storekeeper. Then you can make the payment in seconds. It is amazing, right? And if you need cash and you don't have a credit card or debit card in your hand, don't worry, no problem. You just find an ATM machine, then open your bank application again, then scan the QR code on the ATM machine, so you can withdraw your money from your bank account very quickly, easily, right? It's amazing. It's very convenient. So, you know, in Thailand, there are over 60% population use a QR code for the payment. And over 50 million people use Facebook. And 45 million people use Line application. Quite crazy, right? So I think Thailand is making a very good digital economy. As our operator, so we would like to use our technology to develop some very useful digital services for the people, for the Thailand people, to let them enjoy the digital lifestyle. So we can see here we have a smart living, smart home, smart TV, smart devices, smart camera, a lot of smart devices, so we can let people in to have good digital life in the home. And we have smart residential. We joined with property companies to provide some convenient services for condominium and villa customers. For general connectivity, we also have IoT services. And for the retail side, we have a smart vendor machine, and also we have a smart merchandise application to help small business owners to run their business online. Also, we have True Money, so you can pay anything by the QR code. For example, when you go to McDonald's, if you buy a Big Mac set, you only scan QR code. Everything's done, so quite good, all right? So to support the digital lifestyle, digital services, so we need network, right? Everything through the network. Our company is composed of 3 parts of True Move Edge, True Digital, and True Online. True Move is focused on the wireless network. We have excellent 4G, 5G network. Whenever you're sailing in the ocean or climbing the mountains, so you can enjoy our network services for entertainment, for walking, anywhere, anytime. True Digital is focused on the digital services. As I mentioned before, we provide a lot of services for the customers. And also, we have a digital platform for SME customers to develop their own businesses, digital services. And for True Online, focus on the broadband and private line services. We are the first operator in Thailand to announce GB home package with Wi-Fi 6. You know, the Wi-Fi 6 is a wonderful technology. It improves the coverage quite a lot. It provides very stable Wi-Fi access in your home. That is very good. So this is our two companies' network strategy and future evolution. First, the ultimate customer experience is quite important to us because we pursue a better customer experience because only fully satisfying our customers' demands can make our businesses continue to grow. So this is business rule. To support better customer experience, we must need a powerful network, a high, stable, flexible network. So ultra-broadband network is necessary. It is a fundamental infrastructure and is very important to us. As the data traffic grows exponentially, so you know the networks become more complicated, and we face the pressure. We have to improve network management capabilities, right? But at the same time, we don't want to add burden to our customers. We want to maintain our product reasonable price. So it's time to make our network smarter. Use AI, artificial intelligence, to make our network smarter. And automation is a solution, I think, to improve the productivity. It's time. So let me give an explanation how to improve our products, our customer experience. You know, customers' behavior have changed all the time. During COVID-19, a lot of customers use online meeting and some digital systems like Microsoft Teams, something like that, so to allow their employees working from home, working anywhere. And a lot of customers enjoy playing online games and watching live video conference, video TV broadcasting. And some customers, especially SME customers, move their businesses on cloud. That is quite popular now. So many services have so many requirements. Some services require real-time, low latency. Some services require large bandwidth. Some services require massive access, low power consumption. How can we satisfy all these services simultaneously? So we have to employ SDN, software-defined network, and open flow system that help us to build and slicing to satisfy, to adapt our network to customers' different services. We have standards, yes, service level agreement. Different service agreement fit for the different customers' demands. And we also have a different charging rate to help customers reduce cost. Also, we have a system to monitor the performance to ensure the quality. For VIP customers, we have a VIP channel for security contents to help them to have a good channel. So about network, as I mentioned, it is a foundation. It is very important for us. So we must build a very powerful, flexible, high stable network. So we upgrade our backbone to the 400 GB and the metro access system to 100 GB. Also, we use optical switching system to improve. And in the future, we will deploy the mobile agent computing to help the cloud for the local side. So all this will reduce fiber consumption down to 75% and increase linkage usage to 20%. At the same time, we increase the download speed by 10 times, upload speed to 3 times. So our customers can enjoy 8K high fidelity video smoothly without freezing. Quite good. So as I mentioned it before, so the data traffic is growing exponentially. We have facing the pressure because networks become complicated. So we have to improve our ability. So it's time to make our network smarter. So we use artificial intelligence, AI. So it's like we install brain in the network to let network manage itself, to let the network can recognize our customers' protocol, to analyze, to allocate resources, to fix a problem, to build the customer's behavior data model automatically. That's quite amazing, quite exciting. So to reach zero weight, zero touch, and zero trouble by self-configuring, self-healing, and self-assurance. Of course, in this level 5 system, we still stay in the level 2, between the level 2 and the level 3. Level 5, full autonomy is our ambitions. I believe we will achieve the goal, but it takes time, right? So I think in the final, we can reduce the cost and at the same time to assure the quality. Over the 90% of the orders handled online, and the real-time order provision lies at 95%, and 99 service force identified timely, and 90% failure handled in minutes. That is amazing. 50% hidden trouble preventable. Self-adaptation to guaranteeing service experience is really our ambitions. I think that is make it very exciting. So, at last, in summary, we will build a customer-centric, ultra-broadband and intelligent network. And we must make our network very powerful, flexible enough to support. We must use SDN, open floor, and with AI enabled. Of course, we must, together with 5G-C, 5G CON, standalone CON. Of course, with, the 5G-C is service-oriented. We will use orchestration platform to build end-to-end slicing. All of this solution is trying to satisfy our customers' differentiated services, whatever campus, intelligent factory, or telemedicine, or transportation. All of things we can use our network to satisfy customer demand. So this is a real customer-centric network. I think you will like it. I do like it too. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Zhang Linghua, the Deputy CTO of True. The next topic is UBB everywhere and for everyone, Telefonica Network Strategy. Please welcome Mr. Javier Gutierrez Alvaro, the Director of Network Strategy and Development from Telefonica España, please.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to spend with you a few minutes to share our vision, strategy, what we are doing in Telefonica for deploying the future in the coming years. So first of all, I would like to share with you what we consider or how we see the ultra-broadband networks deployment. The idea that we see we will have to implement during the coming years, and we have been working to deploy in the past years, is to deploy ultra-broadband networks everywhere and for everyone. So the idea is to deploy fiber to the homes in all the houses in the country. We see that the digital revolution and transformation of societies lead us to deploy ultra-broadband networks in every premise in the country. And people want ultra-broadband connectivity everywhere. When they move away from their houses, what they want is to connect to social networks, one to each other in mobility. So FTTH and 5G are complementary technologies that will help us to deploy this vision of ultra-broadband everywhere and for everyone. Of course, quality of experience is essential, is crucial. This means end-to-end network optimization, but it means as well a good performance of customer equipment at their houses. And of course, once we deploy ultra-broadband networks in the access, we need very good, very resilient and networks with enough capacity in connectivity, IP and optics, and as well, all this process, all this vision is complemented by digital transformation in enterprises. Well, this is the general vision, the general scope, and I would like to cover each of these areas to share with you what we are doing and what are our next steps in all of this. Well, first of all, the idea, the general idea of fiber deployment. We have been working very intensively in the last few years to deploy fiber to the homes. We are right now, or we expect to be by the end of this year, in more than 80% coverage of premises. Talking about premises, that includes household, but as well small companies or every place where we will have a customer connected to the fixed ultra-broadband network. So this figure, more than 80% of coverage of premises in the country, we plan to end up with this fiber deployment in the coming 2 years. And the idea is that Telefónica in Spain will become a fiber company, 100% higher fiber company in a couple of years. That's the idea. Of course, this final deployment, we'll see some figures in the next slide. It's strongly conditioned by government subsidies and helps for these rural areas that we have still pending. Well, as you can see in this slide, there's a different percentage of coverage when we see the different ranges, population ranges. So in the main cities in Spain that have more than 1 million inhabitants, the coverage, the percentage of coverage is almost 100%. And well, when you descend in the population ranges, you see that the coverage is not so high. Although in the main cities of Spain, the median coverage is 90%. So in the coming years, we will be completing this coverage so that we are almost at the final target of 100%. The situation is a little bit different when we see the rural area. So this is the real challenge. We have 150 cities with more than 50,000 inhabitants, but we have more than 8,000 cities with less population than 50,000 inhabitants. So the dispersion of this pending deployment is a real challenge with a lot of work to be done in asking permissions to public administrations and private people, and the execution of a lot of civil works. So, well, this is a new paradigm in fiber deployment. We have been facing it during the last 2 years, and has made us to change many things in how we deploy fiber. I would say that even if the FTTH deployment is basically the same thing we have been doing in the past years, the way we do it is absolutely different. So we have been forced to change the design criteria. We have even changed some very specific criteria of fiber deployment, as is the level of splitting. We have changed the process so that we try to shorten the design process and to give more time to the in the end-to-end to the management of permissions to deploy the fiber. And we have even changed the kind of materials we use, different kind of cables with different amount of fibers, splitters, optical boxes. And all this ecosystem has been changing. I would say that the deployment we are doing now has nothing to do in terms of complexity, in terms of ambition with the deployment we have done in the past few years. Well, one idea, ultra-broadband network everywhere. So 100% of fiber coverage in a couple of years. But fiber is an excellent technology, reliable, robust, with a very good performance in terms of throughput and latency, but is becoming more and more basic to the customer is to have a good installation at their premises, at their homes, in terms of equipment and in terms of, well, the configuration or the layout of this equipment inside the home. So during these years, we have been deploying a home gateway unit, which has been a success because the performance of this equipment has been quite good. We are evolving it. You can see that there in the left-hand side of the slide, the home gateway we are using, and it's evolving to support Wi-Fi 6, which is becoming as well a relevant improvement in terms of quality of experience. We have a relevant number of fixed wireless accesses deployed, which, well, is a first approach to broadband networks. In the meanwhile, we deploy fiber. We are happy because our fixed wireless customers feel quite satisfied with the service. But of course, as long as we deploy fiber, we will be evolving and migrating this fixed wireless as soon as possible to fiber. We have been working with repeaters and amplifiers that are working in Wi-Fi 6 as well. And the combination of a home gateway with Wi-Fi 6 and amplifier repeater with Wi-Fi 6 is an excellent paradigm to obtain higher speeds, a very good coverage, and a very good throughput. Of course, this is not enough. We are starting to explore Wi-Fi 7 as the next steps in wireless connectivity at customer premises. But, well, even if wireless technology covers, well, a relevant number of situations at customer premises, there are larger houses with different floors that would probably need a step forward in terms of quality of experience. So this is the reason we are exploring FTTR as a new approach to this kind of houses. We are working with Huawei. We are defining the scope of the collaboration and how we want to test, not only from the technical point of view, but as well from the commercial point of view, the interests of customers in this kind of technology. And well, we expect to have good results and to be able to move forward with this kind of solutions at customer houses. Well, fiber deployment, 100% of coverage, quality of experience at customer premises, but while we deploy ultra-broadband networks accesses, what we experiment in the rest of network layers is a very relevant, a huge increase in data traffic. That's the reason we are absolutely changing the network topologies of our connectivity networks. In this slide, you can see, well, a general vision of our long-distance optical network. This is a project that we are starting now. We have right now 2 optical meshes because, well, they support one to each other in terms of redundancy. But we do need a step forward. We need to start a new wave of transformation in optical meshes, and this is the vision that we are deploying during this year and the coming 2 years. It's a project that in 3 years will deploy a brand new optical network based on 2 layers, 2 planes that are redundant one to each other, and we will be able to offer our customers, of course, a very robust network, but as well with a lot of capacity and a network that will be able to grow very easily in the future. For this network, we are using Huawei technology, the OXC solution fully matched with our strategy in terms of, not only in terms of innovation, because it's a very innovative solution, but as well in terms of capacity, in terms of automatic growth, in terms of efficiency, in terms of resilience. It's a technology that, well, it will reduce the footprint that the equipment needs in the network. The power consumption is reduced by the use of this technology, and the easiness to deploy will give us a much better time to market. So we have been working during this year. We will continue working in the coming 2 years so that we will fully deploy this solution as an evolution of our current optical meshes. Well, what we are seeing in this digital transformation is, well, we have been experimenting with different customers, private companies, public administration. We have been conceiving a lot of use cases, a few of them for 5G, some of them for FTTH. What we see is both technologies. This is the evidence that both technologies are complementary. When we talk to customers, when we design or we conceive a value proposal, we implement these use cases. We realize that some of them find their way of doing with 5G, a few of them with fiber. And we have tested more than 60 use cases with a lot of customers during the last 2 years, 2 years and a half. And what we are seeing now that we are finishing the fiber deployment and we are deploying 5G is that both technologies, ultra-broadband technologies in the access, are finding with some technological enablers that are becoming mature right now, the best or the perfect ecosystem to make this enterprise digitalization a real thing. These enablers are edge computing. Most of these use cases require edge computing, so the combination of ultra-broadband network with edge computing guarantees us the possibility of deploying very, very good use cases for enterprises, but as well private networks, artificial intelligence, all the technologies of video recognition, of course, the evolution of devices. So we are facing now the moment where these ecosystems begins to take form, not only because of ultra-broadband technologies, but as well because of other enablers. Of course, IP network. IP network, as well as optical network, requires relevant growth in terms of capacity. In the past years in Telefónica Spain, we changed completely our IP network. We deployed a new architecture based on less levels, as what you can see in the figure. And we call the HL1 to the interconnection level, HL2 to the backbone level, HL3 is a regional transit level, and HL4 is the most capillary level that is very close to radio base stations or enterprises or OLTs. And we have even deployed a fifth hierarchical level, the HL5, to reach those rural areas and those places that will require more sites, more central offices to be connected. We have been working during the past years to fully deploy this network, less levels, but as well it is quite innovative because all the configurations, all the services are defined and implemented in HL4. This means that all the traffic, all the services are resolved very close to the access. We don't have to implement very complicated paths until we reach the node where the service configuration is. And well, this is an easy way, an effective way of deploying technology. What we are doing now is, well, we have defined the next wave of transformation of the IP network. And, well, we want to deploy new equipment, new families with new functionalities, new features that will guarantee the future evolution in terms of capacity, higher interfaces, 400G, and as well 800 or even 1 terabit per second interfaces, but as well functionalities as Ethernet VPNs or segment routing, telemetry, real-time data acquisition, advanced network controllers. And for this new way of transformation, we have decided to continue working with Huawei. With Huawei, we were working in HL5 equipments, but we will start deploying IP networks in HL4 and HL3 in the coming months. So this is a very ambitious project. We have a lot of confidence in the IP technological evolution as a guarantee for the ultra-broadband networks. And well, this is all basically what I wanted to share with you and comment during the different network layers and technology. Our plans and visions are this idea of ultra-broadband networks require to be fully deployed in the country to reach every person, every enterprise. And this means two complementary technologies, 5G, but fiber is essential. And IP and transport optical networks are the guarantee of reliability, robustness, and having an adaptive network to give the customers finally the best customer of experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Javier Gutierrez Alvaro, the Director of Network Strategy and Development from Telefónica España. The next topic is enabling a connected experience. Please welcome Mr. Phila Duby, the OpenServe CCO of Telkom South Africa. A big round of applause, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Phila Dube. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of OpenServe, a company of Telkom South Africa. I'm here to share with you the story of how we at OpenServe have enabled or created and enabled a connected experience. Just briefly, in terms of how OpenServe comes about, Telkom used to be an incumbent operator in South Africa. So within Telkom, then there was a division of wholesale and networks that built infrastructure services purely for the consumption of Telkom and the resale to internal channels. In 2015, Telkom created a business unit called OpenServe as truly open access that to enable connectivity for everyone within the country for our market, and as well as to monetize the infrastructure that Telkom had created over that period. In fact, as of the 1st of September, 2 months ago, this is now a separate legal entity in OpenServe, truly open access, working for everyone else within the country. So OpenServe is the largest open access network in South Africa, providing wholesale and managed infrastructure connectivity services. So in terms of how we differentiate ourselves through innovative connectivity solutions, next generation products and services, and value propositions for our clients within the country and globally as well. So as a wholesaler, we work through channel partners. So we have more than 400 channel partners. 120 of them are global partners. We've got about 90 interconnect partners, and we've got more than 200 channel partners within the country. We look at our strategy as innovative connectivity solutions that are enabled through digital ecosystem. Secondly, we want to have the best customer experience for anyone who's our network. And lastly, a cost-efficient network rollout is important for us. So just in terms of the competitive landscape of South Africa, so we have more than 40 FNOs, more than 40 fiber network operators in South Africa. South Africa is a big country, but I still do think that 40 is also kind of an overkill in terms of the number of FNOs that are in the country. So as you can just imagine, there's quite a bit of overbuild as well. And we have started to see also some consolidation taking place because the market is not big enough for all 40 of them. But everyone is fighting for footprint. Unfortunately, everyone is fighting for footprint within the confined space of a particular segment of the market. So if you just think about South Africa as well, I mean, it's quite a vast country, vast growing demand as well, because we had quite a wide digital divide in South Africa due to the history of South Africa as well. So if you just look at the population of South Africa, about 10% is in Viru's Neighborhood Lifestyle Index. About 10% of the country is in NLI 7 to 10. 20% is in 4 to 6, and 70% is in 1 to 3. Majority of the rollout of fiber has been in the NLI 7 to 10. That is those that could afford the high income areas. But as OpenServe, we wanted to connect with all South Africans. We want to connect with everyone in our market. Hence, we are truly open access. We want to create products and services that work for everyone in that spectrum of the community of South Africa. So understanding the challenges of our business as OpenServe, the challenges of our competitive landscape as we think about our market, and the challenges of our country as South Africa. So we looked at how do we differentiate ourselves in this market? What do we need to do differently as a business, as OpenServe, in order to serve our market better and serve everyone? And by association, I mean, if you've been an incumbent, you're always compared to perfection in the country. So every time there's something wrong with the customer experience for the customer, they would blame the network. They never thought of it as maybe the layer of internet on top of that. So that is something we needed to look at. We need to start to engage with our customers and move away from the thinking that as a wholesaler, we don't own the customer, so therefore we don't need to talk to the customer. In this case, we asked ourselves, how do we create that connected experience for our market? So just briefly, we then looked at what do we have as OpenServe. We've got about 3 million homes within a fiber-ready node, 500 meters from a fiber-ready node, and we've got about 7 million homes that are within a kilometer from our fiber-ready nodes in South Africa. We've got 170,000 kilometers of fiber as OpenServe. In the toolbox of the technologies that we have fiber, we have satellite, we have microwave, we also have copper. So we were thinking about how do we use this? We said we can use this basket of technologies to give access to everyone and then provide a truly open access service to our market. So we also have the largest NOC, probably in the Southern Hemisphere. We monitor about 10 million network elements. We manage over 120 network events just to ensure the seamless connectivity for our customers. We've got access to local and international experts in that center. We also provide managed service capabilities. We do tier 2 and tier 3 technical support from the same center. So there's quite a lot that we're actually doing as OpenSafe just to make sure that the experience of our customers is great. So we then looked at the technology. You know, I was listening here, there's big words of technology and acronyms that come out here. We looked at how do we then create products that matter for our customers. How do we translate the technology into something that a customer understands? Because our customers don't buy XGS PON, they buy FTTH. So how do we translate this to something that customers can use? And how do we create these products also in a manner that they are accessible to these customers from a pricing perspective, from the channels perspective as well? And how do we also integrate and create an opportunity for anyone who wants to play in this space that they are able to do so? And we then created a wholesale ISP. So it's a white-labeled wholesale ISP so that anyone who wants to play in the sector doesn't need to have any technical capabilities. As long as they are able to, they understand the sector, understand the industry, we will take care of everything end-to-end, integrated product proposition, a product that is both access on fiber as well as integrated with internet. Then they can just go to their communities or their areas of interest and provide their services. So because we wanted to differentiate our experience through innovation, cost efficiencies, flexibility, as well as solution-oriented approaches. So we also understood that we can't do this on our own. We do need to also leverage our strategic partnerships and collaborate with the likes of Huawei, for an example, just to make sure that we can deliver those cost-efficient services to our customers in a language that our customers understand. So we also partnered with our own employees. We've got more than 3,000 technicians that work in OpenSafe. Those are the guys in the van that go out each and every day to install services or to do assurance services for our own market and for our customers. So we then said to create an experience for our market, we need to also incentivize these employees of ours for customer experience. So every time there's an interaction with the customer, our technicians get rated by the customer for the experience that the customer has gotten from them. So I can tell you that in 2019, our INPS, interaction NPS, that's when the customer rates the experience with the technician, was around 48.9. As we speak now, in 2022, that customer experience is at 66%. That means that our customers are highly recommending the services that they get also from our own technicians. So we also then thought, what do we also need to do? Like I mentioned earlier, that because we used to be an incumbent, so every time there's a bad thing on the customer experience or the customer experience on the network, they would always just blame the network operator. So we thought we will put the power back into the hands of the customer. So we created an app for a wholesaler. This is probably the first, I think, globally for a wholesaler to have an app for the customers. And in this app, the customer can track their orders, they can log a fault, they can test their Wi-Fi network at the home. So before they call their ISP channel or the ISP partner, the provider of the services, they would already know what is wrong with their service. So this app has really been a great success, both for us as well in terms of customer experience, as well as for our channel partners who are providing services on our infrastructure. So in the last year, I would say maybe in the last 18 months, OpenServe has been the most preferred fiber network operator in South Africa, based on the independent research by the relevant South African media. Also, it's been the most recommended fiber network operator. We have a net promoter score of 43. The next best that comes after OpenServe has got a net promoter score of 21. We have had more than, since we've launched this app, which is probably 12 to 18 months ago, we've had more than 400,000 downloads of the app. And the app has just recently won an award at TM Forum, Excellence Awards now in 2022. I think it was 2 months back, in a category that recognizes companies that are delivering differentiation in data-driven customer experience strategies. So this has really been a feather to our cap in terms of the customer experience that we wanted to create with our own customers. And even our own channel partners are starting to encourage their customers as they sell our services that they can connect on OpenServe app, because that redirects the traffic from away from the channel partners back into the network operator, so that we can provide the experience that the customers have become accustomed to in the OpenServe network. So in closing, we are really, truly leading in connected experience in South Africa. So we have nearly 1 million homes passed right now. We have data consumption that is growing exponentially. We've got highest customer experience in the Net Promoter Score in the country. With growth, we're experiencing growth as well in the fiber-enabled services. We've got connectivity rate of 46%. This is the highest connectivity rate you can find in South Africa. In fact, if not globally, I guess, it's a very high connectivity rate on fiber. That means everywhere we've rolled out fiber, we've had nearly half of the homes that we've passed with fiber have connected to fiber. So ladies and gentlemen, that is a story of OpenServe. We say get connected and stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Piladu B, the OpenServe CCO of Telkom from South Africa. And the next topic is provide the best and most reliable fiber service for all Argentinians. Please welcome Mr. Miguel Fernandez, the CTO of Telkom Argentina. Big round of applause, please.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Huawei, for letting me share with you our project. Previous to start with my presentation, let me introduce what is Telecom Argentina. In 2018, in Argentina took place a merge between two big operators. One of them was a cable operator. That the operator used to run broadband services based on a HFC network. It was the main operator with the main market share, and its company used to run entertainment services, video services, and was the lead of the market. The merge was with another company that was an incumbent telecom company, with the mobile services, 4G services, and services based on a DSL network. Both companies had B2B services too. And well, in that year, 2018, we started a project with the idea to build a new convergent network, with the idea to transform these both telecommunications companies in a digital service provider company, with respect for the ecosystem, with the idea to be green, and to keep our leadership in the market. On the left, you can see the different brands that we used to have in that years in 2018. But today, we consolidate the business in 3 different brands. Telecom is the brand to support our B2B services. Personal is the brand of our connectivity services, mobile and fixed services. And Flow is the leader brand in Argentina related with entertainment services. We are running a very robust TV Everywhere platform. We are the leaders of the market. We need to keep that leadership in the market with innovation, and we have a big challenge in the fixed services arena. As we were listening today, the bandwidth is growing year by year. In 2018, these figures are worldwide figures. In 2018, almost 80% of the subscribers, the consumers, demand us services with less than 100 megabits per second. But today, in 2022, the 60% of the consumers have more than 100 megabits per second. And the forecast tell us that in 2025, we will need more than 100 megabits per second for more than the 70% of the subscribers. So the challenge is big. We had to continuously improve the services, and we had to grow that capabilities in our networks. On the right, you can see what is happening with the subscribers in the different kind of networks. Something similar is happening in Argentina with our networks. In the copper networks, in the case of Telecom Argentina, really we are losing subscribers because we can deliver the service that they are demanding us. So there we had to find a very good strategy in order to rebuild that networks and try to avoid lose that subscribers. We have HFC networks too. In that case, we are using DOCSIS 3.1 technology. With that technology, we can support products with, for example, 1 gigabit per second. We don't have problem for capacity, but we started to rebuild that networks with FTTH2 because we had to improve the reliability for that subscribers. In Argentina, there are a big competition, and another operators is running fiber over our HFC network, so we had to try to avoid lose that subscribers, and for that reason we are rebuilding too in some areas the HFC networks. Here you can see some numbers of our network. You can see that we have overlapping between HFC networks, DSL networks, and our main strategy related with the fixed services is to deploy FTTH. So we had to find a very good method, a very good strategy to run in with a good TCO and good time to market proposal. Here you can see that we have a network with that cover 9.4 million homes. We have 4.2 million customers. Most of them are over the DOCSIS technology. We had to run mainly the new network, the FTTH network over the DSL, because there is where we are losing our customers. So we had to run very quick with this rebuilding strategy. So the strategy that we are using, we are working very close with our partner Huawei in Argentina, and we are using a technology that let us rebuild this network very quick. One of the decisions that we had to take in order to deploy this new network is what if we will do a design, a thick coverage and short distance design, or a thin coverage and long distance design. What I mean, thick coverage is, I am talking about the number of ports of the FATs, the fiber access terminals, the number of the ports versus the home passes. We call that ratio the penetration. One thing that we had to decide when we launched all this project, that was in 2018, is what kind of penetration or what ratio we will use in our designs. We found that in areas with high density, where the main cities, build a network with a 60% of ports versus homes, or build a network with 100% of penetration, have a similar cost. So our decision was to build, in this case, a thick coverage and short distance. If you follow this strategy, you don't need to go again to the same area to add new FATs in order to connect new subscribers. So it's a good strategy, go directly with a 100% penetration design. But in some areas, with this kind of decision, we achieve reduce the TCO and reduce the time that we need to install a new subscribers. On the left, you can see another strategy, thin coverage and long distance designs. It means that we design the coverage just with a 50% of penetration or less. Sometimes we use that kind of design in low density areas. In low density areas, if you reduce the penetration, really we can reduce the investment that we had to do in that areas. So in these small towns or small village, we decided to run this kind of strategy because it led us to rebuild all that small cities more quickly and with less capex, because obviously all of us has a limitation with the capex. This was one of the decisions that we had to took to run the fiber to the home network. This solution, this Huawei solution, Quick ODN, enable a fast network construction. We had to decide what kind of technology we will install in the inside plant, in the central offices, in our hubs. We are using three different solutions. We are installing in our central offices, in some cases, indoor pods. Pods are Huawei solution, is point of delivery. It's a kind of small data center where we can run very quickly with a good time to market new OLTs to feed our fiber to the home networks. Another solution that we are using to speed up this rebuilding is to deploy outdoor OLTs. As I mentioned, we have a mobile network and we have different sites, and in some small towns we can install these OLTs in our sites and take advantage of these facilities and reduce the quantity of fibers that we had to run in the field. Another solution is the outside plant, the ODN, the Quick ODN. Really, this product that we are using in order to rebuild our network is a solution that let us run very quick, in a very quick way, the construction of this network. Is a pre-connected ODN. It's easy to run the cables because are very light cables, pre-connected. You can use one technician to install the FAT, the fiber access point terminal, sorry, to install the FAT, and another technician running the cable. You don't need high technical skills. You can prepare the technician in an easy way. So this solution is the solution that are letting us to rebuild and to solve this overlapping network that we have today in Telecom Argentina. So this Quick ODN enabled us to do a fast network construction. At the beginning of our project to rebuild the copper network, we start with a conventional network with a splicing and with fiber boxes, and really that was very hard. It was very slow, a very slow strategy. And today we are using this solution for normal cities, high density cities. In Argentina, we have something that we call country houses or or close neighborhoods, we are using this solution too in that cases, and for regular homes too. With this kind of technology, you have two advantages. One is the easy installation, as I mentioned previously. Easy for the technician. You can improve the capacity to run more and more networks, and other advantage is if, for example, in small cities, to connect the ODN with the central office, you can run just a cable with one core fiber, and that is a task that can do a normal technician. So, in the case of Telecom Argentina, with this technology, we achieved all the objectives that we proposed at the beginning of the project. We were able to reduce the total cost ownership for 20%, and something more important, we achieved the reduction of time to market in a 70% respect the other technologies that we were using at the beginning of the project. Here you can see an example where in less than in a year that we start the construction in some city, we were able to double the quantity of subscribers in that area with this kind of technology, and keep our subscribers and grow with in that networks. So, this is a very interesting strategy for Telecom Argentina because the connectivity is one of our core services. Here, this is my last slide. Here you can see our strategy. In our strategy, the core of our strategy is keep growing our businesses. It's a one-page strategy. And one key objective of our strategy is consolidate our core business, and the connectivity is part of our core business. The connectivity, the wireless connectivity, and the fixed broadband connectivity. As we listen in this right place, we have to transform from a telco to a techco, but the connectivity is very important in that journey. To transform from a telco to a techco, to a digital service provider, we had to pay attention in the connectivity business. In Telecom Argentina, we have a strategy to develop new businesses. Here you can see that one of our strategic objectives is to deliver digital services for the B2C arena. For that, we are doing different transformations. We need to transform in a B2B value-added partner of our enterprise customers. And perhaps one of the main objectives in our company is to transform all our technology, as we were listening here in this place. And to do that, we had to transform all our platforms. We had to enable really a B2B2X platform with all the Telecom Argentina technology. And another important transformation that we had to run is the cultural transformation. That is another big challenge that we are running today. Obviously, the regulation we heard here about all the regulation that in worldwide and in each country we had to take in account, and always we had different financing challenges to achieve all of this. But going back to the FBB, the consolidation of our business need that we pay very close attention with the massive services, in this case, the fixed connectivity services, because the fixed connectivity services and the mobile services will finance all the rest of the transformation of our company. That is the reason because we choose a technology to deploy these new FTTH networks in order to be quickly, in order to care our subscribers, and in order to encourage all this transformation that I were sharing with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for Mr. Miguel Fernandez, the CTO of Telecom Argentina. The next topic is Boost Growth, Embrace Net 5.5G. Please welcome Mr. Kevin Hu, the President of Huawei Data Communication Product Line. A big round of applause, please.
So, distinguished guests, welcome to join the Ultra-Broadband Forum in Bangkok this year. So, in the morning, Simon Lin Chu, OpenServe, AS, and Argentina Telecom has shared some business practice. I think this is very important for us in the future. So today, my topic is focused on the future. So what's the future, for the grounds? So today, after you invest for the fiber, for 5G, so how can you make money? So everybody knows the major, profit structure is come from enterprise. So even you have massive, fiber users, but the profit is very important. So first of all, I just share some, 3 questions for all carriers. So first one, what's the new requirement, for enterprise customer requirement? Enterprise requirement, I think, is full different with the traditional residential or consumer requirement. So it's more agility. It's focused on the automation technology. The second one is, as we summarize the practice of 5G, so no matter fake fiber or radio. So what's the key features for the 5.5 generation technology? So how to design a target-oriented architecture to support, to provide the best connectivity. The last one, it is the key, features for the next generation target network. So first of all, if we summarize, the policy, no matter from European, from China, or from Thailand. So everybody knows the massive customer will migrate the IT service to the cloud. So everyone talk about digitalization. What's the requirement for digitalization in terms of connectivity? Few people have, the awareness about this. No preparation, right? So first of all, more than 92% of the customer will migrate the IT service to the cloud. So it means the cloud-based management for the network is very, very important. And the second one is today, I will share the 4 solutions for you to upsell the leased line service. So today we know MPLS VPN, so it's very good business. So everybody sell MPLS VPN out to the customer for many years. It's very, very old technology. No innovation, no change. So this is big challenge for our customer. So I will share 4, sub-solutions for all customers to upsell based on MPLS VPN. And then, so we will summarize the future-oriented architecture. The first one is, it is, just one line to plus, manage Wi-Fi service. So even you have MPLS VPN, but today, because of many customers, so if you want to develop enterprise business, you must focus on the segment of your enterprise customer structure. So for example, if you have 200,000 MPLS VPN service, so it's here. So what's the structure? So you must break down and summarize the key feature from the end users. So such as retail industry that focus on the Internet of Things, so convergence Wi-Fi plus IoT technology together. So the second, for healthcare. So many customers, focus on how to provide the patient, care, health care systems. So they want to bring the internet to, the patient, right? The last one is public sector. In many countries, because of so many carriers just focus on, high density area. So for rural area, very, very poor coverage. So this is new opportunities. So our solution, it is, MPLS VPN plus the managed LAN and managed WAN technology together. So you can see, so because of today, so if you want to provide a managed service, everybody afraid of the field, the first line, the field, engineers. So many people. But technology is changed. Can leverage the new software technology. You can provide the service. So leverage the cloud-based management systems. It's very smart. Just scan QR code and then plug and play. So it's a possibility for you to provide a managed LAN service and a managed Wi-Fi service. So we just share some practice from some carriers. So you can make more than 50% revenue from the new service. So in Middle East, in Africa, Latin America, so it's very popular for the carriers to provide the MPLS VPN plus managed LAN and managed WAN service. So if you look at the future, so by 2025, so we'll support Wi-Fi 6, to Wi-Fi 7. So Wi-Fi, is running very fast. So every 3 years, the Wi-Fi technology will upgrade. Yeah. And then more, broadband access, very fast, more than 30 gigahertz, BPS. So the second, business solution, it is LAN plus security service. So everybody, knows, right, today, such as many, threaten, so it's very important, right? So many customers, when they migrate the service to the cloud, so how to secure, the connectivity is a big challenge. So from my personal point of view, so almost all the carriers, the lack of network security practice, very, very few people know how to handle with this solution. It looks like, network security is a very, very professional solution. But how can we empower the carriers to develop this business? So today we bring here is LAN plus managed network security service. This is for a new architecture. So we can provide it just a very smart box and plus, cloud native based service together. And then we also provided EDR systems is to protect the endpoint. And then this is closed loop architecture. You can provide real-time detect, protect, and manage service. It's also based on your MPLS VPN service. It's just plus a box. You can manage everything remotely. So you can protect real-time. This is new architecture. So the key highlights, it is security as a service. As I not just depend on the professional engineers. It's dependent on software. The second one is network security as a platform. So the box can support IPS, firewall, and anti-DDoS at the same time. So all in one. So if you look at the industry, all the box is dedicated. So anti-DDoS, firewall, and another one. The third one is endpoint security as one agent. So secured access, policy, control. So everyone is just one software, such as EDR, VPN client, and zero trust connectivity like this. So this is new solution. If you compare with other solution, so everyone is just connectivity plus a box, no cloud-based management. So the third one, it is LISLAN plus SD-WAN. So because of MPS VPN is very good business, very high profit, a very, very stable customer. But today, if you look at the industry, such as financial, public sector, so many customers, they are favored to migrate to SD-WAN. Why? So almost all the carriers, they're afraid of support SD-WAN. It looks like SD-WAN is just a very low profit like this, but maybe you are wrong. So why the customer want to introduce SD-WAN? It's not just depend on the OTT, internet, private LAN. So because of, their need automation technology. So if you look at the branch office of the financial industry, so many big banks, the big fintech giants, they have more than 10,000 branch office. How can they manage the massive branch office? So this is network requirement. So if you provided MPS VPN to them, it looks like dark fiber. So the end users cannot aware the quality, everything. So should be visibility for the end users. So if the customer use Zoom or video conference, so how can they manage the customer experience? So your one fiber is good, but 1,000 customers use one fiber. How can you manage the customer experience? It's disaster. So SD-WAN can provide the hybrid technology, can combine MPS VPN plus the internet access together, and then can define, so specify application use this specify connectivity. So it's very smart. So if you can provide it, LISLAN plus SD-WAN service, and then so you will embrace the customer requirement, especially for the retail finance industry. The fourth one, it is how to upsell MPS VPN. So MPS VPN is very, very old technology, very slow. So if you want to, sell the MPS VPN to your customer, usually it will take several days or 1 month. It's very slow. So, but we want to upgrade the MPS service to support slicing and SRv6. So the key feature, it is support some specific requirement for the end users. So, for example, a carrier building a network, everything converging together, backbone, metro, or access. But some customer, especially for the finance and the public sector customers. So, hi guys, I don't want to share the bandwidth with others. So I just want to use a dedicated VPN service to me. So MPS VPN cannot, to match the requirement. So today we provided a slicing technology. So the slicing, it is, between the layer 1 and then layer 2. So, and then you can provide MPS VPN service, SRv6 VPN service at the same time, just one network. And then you can match the requirement, and then you can improve about 20% revenue. So summarize together, so we are providing 4 solutions to support the upsell of LISLAN service: security, multi-LAN, SD1 and the premium level. So after that, so how about the infrastructure? So what's the key feature of for the infrastructure network? So today, so many operators they ignore the IT infrastructure. So today, almost all the ISP they migrate from ISP service to multi-service provider. We say ISP to MSP. So what's the differentiation between ISP and MSP? So the key business is IT service and the security service. So MSP will support IT service. So many carriers that provide hosting business. So very big data center, all the traffic will flow will transfer to data center. So how can you build in data center? From my observation, so many carriers just still building very old technology, just the LAN switch plus server, and then no SD management, no standalone rack design, no span-leaf architecture. So this is the key technology. So our suggestion it is should building a ultra scale out network. So you can leverage SDN technology. So why? Because in the future, so no matter the general computing capability will increase more than 10 times. So when if you provided AI based computer center, so the traffic will increase more than 500 times. So this is big challenge, but it's also a big chance for you as well. The second one is hybrid convergence architecture. So today, this is building one network to support high performance computing, another data center for AI computing. So Huawei can provide it convergence, everything over Ethernet. Just they can share one network and support multi-clouds. So this is very new technology. This is IT technology. The third one is automation. So the automation SDN is not enough. So we must manage it, the full life cycle. So we summarize the 4 data center scenarios. There are about 21 steps. So in terms of the full life cycle, so we support the whole life cycle, end-to-end automation. You just configure few parameters and can manage the big data center. So by 2025, what's the key features for data center infrastructure for IT systems? So first of all, the big bandwidth is the mandatory requirement. So 400 gig Ethernet is not enough. So 800 gig Ethernet, interface just one port, support 800 gig Ethernet. So it's the key features. And the second, all Ethernet. So and then you can unify the whole architecture, simplify the technology. The last one is layer 4, autonomous driven network. So for SDN network, for data center, the IT technology, automation is the key. And the second one for, in terms of the infrastructure, so for the metro or backbone, what's the key features? So if we summarize, it's very simple. First of all, so comparing the 5G with 5.5 generation technology, just the mobile side, so the bandwidth will increase about 10 times. So for fixed side, the traffic will increase about 5 times. So we need prepare the capacity for metro or backbone network. So 800 gig Ethernet technology is ready for core network. So if you want to migrate your IP core network, so you must think about so the equipment support 800 gig Ethernet as possible or not. So if you support 800 gig Ethernet, so the architecture of the chassis is 4 different. It's 4 different. The second one is for metro. So because of when 50 gig PON is ready, you must think about the capability for BNG. So because of 50 gig PON, so the uplink from, of the OLT. We upgrade, from 10 gig to, 100 gig Ethernet. So we must, consider it's coming in the future. Okay. The next one is side, to the base station. Your base station, this, everybody know today. So when you deploy, 5G, the interface of the uplink in terms of the base station is 10 Gbps. So in the future, we will support, 50 gig Ethernet. So we can summarize. So it's convergence core network, converging metro and edge. So just the one architecture support so mobile, fixed, and enterprise at the same time. But this is just the one part of the metro backbone network infrastructure. Another thing is very, very important. So as we say, for solution to support the grounds of enterprise, you must focus on the automation technology. You must focus on the new protocol support, the automation, SR6. And the last one is slicing. So we also, yesterday, come from a media white, paper that talk about, the net 5.5G. So we fully agree. So we also, share, our support for this technology. So we can summarize, there are 6 dimensions. So if you look at the white paper, there's 6, key technology. First one is the capacity, 800 gig Ethernet, but not everywhere, just for the core network, for data center architecture. And the second one is low latency for, AI computing. And the third one is automation, especially for you to support, to empower enterprise business. So the fourth one, it is SR6. So MPS technology is very old, so cannot leverage SDN, benefit. The fifth one is millisecond, threat detection. So if you support the connectivity, connect to, the cloud. So from the branch office to the cloud, the customer will ask you, can you secure the connectivity? So network security, so it's a very good chance for you. So we can provide it, cloud-based, cloud-native architecture support. And last one is Internet of Things. So we summarize, there are 4, solutions to support the enterprise customer business. But I think this is just a technology, just a business solution. The key question is, so today many carriers, the enterprise department and the infrastructure department, so as divided, fragmented. So for the enterprise department that don't want to use underlay network, underlay connectivity, they want to use the automation connectivity. Many operators, So from my personal ideas, so the key question it is we must upgrade, the underlay infrastructure to support the automation technology. The enterprise guys say, hi guys, the cloud service, so just can provide it in minutes. It looks like a fly in the sky. But for our underlay network architecture, it looks like a run on the road. So don't match together. So, but how can you leverage automation, upgrade, the infrastructure network to support SDN, support, SR6, so support, slicing. So that's all, I shared the practice, our, suggestion for the, next generation, network architecture. So if we summarize, so we also fully agree with Amida, ideas. So summarize, the whole network architecture. So it looks like from, connect devices to, mainframe and, laptop, PC, laptop, smartphone. Smaller, and the future will connect to Internet of Things like this. So this is my slides. Thank you again. Thank you for time.
Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you once again for Mr. Kevin Hu. Such really amazing, interesting topics lined up over here on the stage. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to say is that along the 2 days that we stay together, I would like to say that thank you so much for all the honorable guests and speakers for sharing your insight with us over here. And most of all, I would like to say thank you very much for all of you for joining us in this year. So, see you again in UBBF 2023!